Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is TrupsLP, and on our special Saturday edition of, I guess you could call it a political recap, I'm here with Mr. Omegon. Say hello, Omegon.
I forgot to reach for a bottle so I could pop the cork.
Ah, damn. Unfortunate.
Hang on.
There we go.
We're good.
Well done.
Johnny Walker Gold, everyone.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I've had that bottle since 2011. I bought it as a reward after being unemployed for a year. It was the first thing I bought with my wages, which I was very proud of.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Actually, I recently bought like a... Hold on, I apparently have a fucking 747 flying directly above my house.
I don't. I've had Chinooks over mine the last couple of days. It's insane. Not even joking. There are Chinooks over something called the Ancient Path in an area I was helping dig some trees, or put trees in. And they were flying so low. It was thunderous.
I fucking love how they look, though, and the sounds they make.
I have 2 remote-controlled Chinooks in my room because I learnt to fly remote-control helicopters when I was a teenager. One of them is small.
Yeah, you did a video about your drone
thing. Drones, but remote-control helicopters I started on, which is why I found it easier to transition on to drones, because helicopters are much more unstable in this particular in the weather I have here in the coast, with the channel breeze all the time. And so I've learnt to fly Chinooks and regular outdoor helicopters, and I've got 2 Chinooks, and one's quite big, and it's nothing. I mean, it's loud, but nothing like that.
Oh yeah,
it's just absolutely. Well, it's amazing, but thunderous.
Well, you saw that like little article I had sent you about how Dublin Airport had the same drone problem, right?
Yeah, thankfully, isn't Dublin in Ireland, not Northern Ireland?
I think so.
Was that Belfast? Because if it's Ireland, it's nothing to do with the UK. I can never remember which one's which. Belfast and Dublin. One of them's, I don't know.
A lot of people actually don't, at least in the States, we don't differentiate.
Yeah, I know. The Republic of Ireland, to most, is just the whole island, which is where the contentious issue arises. Hello to the chat, Felix. I'm so glad you made it to your first stream on this channel, and to you,
Lebin, it's you as well.
Hello, Maggie, Dominion, and Swan. Hope you're all having a lovely evening. The subject for today, because it felt wrong not to try and stream this week, and Trups has helped me try and get back to that sort of mentality. We're gonna cover something I was originally going to do as a video on Friday, but decided it would be counterproductive to try and record when I was absolutely unable to. So instead, we are going to talk about Justin, because I found that that's what his freaking name is. Smollett.
That's what his fucking name is?
It's Justin. Yeah, not Jussie, which I was looking this up. I was looking everywhere to find out where. Hello, Pumpkin Trucker. I was trying to find out where the name Jussie comes from, and I thought, with him being somewhat urban, perhaps it's an ethnic thing. But then I realised Jussie doesn't fit into Reginald, Winston, and I don't know, other really posh names. Delicious. Let's go with that.
Yes.
Very urban name, Delicious.
But how did you get Jussie out of Justin?
I don't know. I don't.
It might have been his.
I only found out when I looked at his wiki, and it popped up Justin. Are you vaping?
I am.
Okay, you hipster.
Yes, thank you. I mean, look at me. I'm so fabulous sitting in my chair over here.
You're just happy you've got an upgrade.
Yeah. I would be saying yes. I'm happy to be upgraded.
I might make a minor adjustment for the white lines, but
that's fine.
No, the ones on the outside, not on the inside.
Right.
Sorry,
yeah. I see a bit of it.
To Prospero, I'm very sorry. I removed everyone's, and I'll reattach them at some, because I realized I was going through my moderated list, and there were so many, and yet most of them are never here anyway. And I just hit delete on all of them. I need to reattach a few. I think you've still got one though, Traps.
I do, yes.
Okay, well that made sense since you are here.
Yes, indeed.
I figured with Justin Smollett, I would start by saying what happened. And I'm going to say it in the sense of what happened. We all know it was alleged, but I'm going to say what people claim to have happened. as if it did happen, because then we could talk about what happened afterwards, which is hilarious and cliche at this point. So in Chicago on the 29th of January at around 2 a.m., Jussie Smollett was attacked in a racist and homophobic attack, no less, by two masked men, where they had supposedly poured an unknown chemical substance, probably cum, and wrapped a rope around his neck, implying a lynching. Smollett tells the police the two attackers made reference to MAGA. This, by the way, has an inevitable consequence that we will get to later. He then goes to the doctor, and the police describe his condition as fine, and he doesn't actually have any legitimate injuries. That's what happened. That's the timeline as we know it. Of course, what's happened since, we know that's not what happened at all, really, is it?
No, of course not.
So,
and even those details in and of himself, within 24 hours of his reporting, even those changed.
well, yeah, because they had street cameras, and there were two people that could be placed, but they weren't. No, they weren't the right people. And didn't they also? Wasn't it also then noted that he wasn't? Oh, there was a claim that he was attacked, but it was by two friends of his that he paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
But let's keep going through the timeline. So yeah, January 29th, allegedly, this is all that happens.
It is the boy who cried wolf. This is, as we know, the end result. Because of the reference to MAGA, this does, it uses Trump to elevate status, and it now, because of how badly it's backfired, it is a prime example, a great case study for Trump derangement syndrome. I saw in shitposting on my server, Magnus put a meme. It's a picture of Jussie Smollett, and above it says, "Little known Black history facts. Jussie Smollett was the first African American to buy a felony." Honestly, he may, considering he paid for the whole, he essentially paid for the whole thing to take place. Yeah, congratulations. The schmuck who cried MAGA.
There was another one that I had seen on Facebook where it was a Nike meme where it says it was some like, don't let them beat you up, pay for it to do it yourself, or something like along those lines. It's very funny.
I've seen a few memes, some featuring classic COD commentary. We'll get them next time. Kind of, it was a stupid running joke from the videos when you failed a mission, and it would say we'll get them next time, and it had a picture of Justin. So after the attack on the 29th, we can skip ahead maybe a day or two, and let's go with co-stars Grace Byers and Naomi Campbell show support, with Grace Byers saying that the despicable act only shamefully reveals how deeply the diseases of hatred, inequality, racism, and discrimination continue to course through our country's veins. And Empire creator Lee Daniels went onto a video on Instagram where he said, "Hold your head up, Justin," or Jussie. Juicy J. Fuck off. "I'm with you."
Juicy J.
Yeah, another comedian I know spoke up with Steve Harvey, because, yeah, he's still funny to me. This is about coming to the aid of another brother that has tasted the brutality of hatred and racism and bigotry. I just want to say, this bugs me a little.
Why is that?
It's the brother thing. Because it's only within ethnic minorities that it is acceptable to say it to another person of the same race. But you pesky white folk, not you, but you pesky white folk that are watching, you don't get this. You don't get this luxury. Because that's racist.
Oh no, of course not. You're not allowed to do that.
I just find that stupid. But yeah, there was a lot of support for this, and I saw the tweets. There was a hashtag or two about was the one "I stand with Jussie" or something. I'm sure Me Too cropped up as well, because this seems like the kind of thing.
Oh, I'm sure there was some hashtag that came along with this.
There were a few, and it was quite sad.
But no, and even some major media personalities came out to talk about it as well.
Well, it was Black Lives Matter as well that popped up, and and Justice for Jussie. That was the hashtag, Justice for Jussie. I remember.
And
Thank you, Prospero.
I mean, even Trump on I think the 31st of January called the incident horrible, and that it doesn't get worse. Because he was asked about it in the Oval Office at one point. So,
Well,
I mean, when you don't know the details, then
well,
it's a horrible potential incident.
Well,
but the devil is in the details.
Yeah, it was an ongoing investigation, and that was not helped by Jussie, who refused to hand over his phone to the police who were investigating the attack because they wanted to confirm the details, including the MAGA reference, as the actor said he was on the phone to his manager at the time. And then only a day later, the police say he's a victim, we don't treat him like a criminal, and that they won't demand the phone, which I think is really strange. I think I get at the same time you want to investigate, but if you want to be thorough, you have to get every piece of information.
Well, you know what's interesting is, so yes and no to that. They didn't request the phone. What they ended up doing was subpoenaing the
Manager?
the company, the communications company,
the
whatever,
network,
Verizon or whatever.
Network provider, yeah.
Yeah, and got the details that way.
I'm sure.
Which is why it became much more interesting as the story progressed.
Yeah. So let's go with a day later after the phone incident. He spoke out for the first time, saying simply he was okay. Oh, and there was a statement. I've got it written down. The outpouring of love and support from my village has meant more than I will ever be able to truly put into words. I am working with authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent on every level. That hasn't aged very well.
Neither has this one from the LA Times. This was a statement made by his family on the 31st as well. We want to be clear. This was a racial and homophobic hate crime, the family said in a statement to the Times on Thursday. Jussie has told the police everything from the very beginning. His story has never changed, and we are hopeful they will find these men and bring them to justice.
I'm just going to say now, people that lie like this, no gay man's going to knowingly want to sleep with you, Jussie.
Oh, absolutely not.
Sorry, man, but the fags are against you. I know that the police, they released... Okay, hang on, I do actually... Because I remember seeing it. Give me a second. I will go and get it. Open that. I've got it. Right, the tweet. Here it is. Oh, no, not save. Oh, God. Here we go. Right, yeah, I've got a picture. I can show this. This is the picture that we have of the two suspects. It's not the greatest. Yeah, it's not very good. There we go. I've zoomed in as far as I can. But that was what you get. That's off their official Twitter, actually. It's not ideal, really. It was released by the Bureau of Detective Chicago Police Criminal Investigation Unit. And that was tweeted out by the Chief Communications Officer for Chicago Police, Anthony Guglielmi. Not going to try and pronounce that again.
I think you got it for the most part.
The funny part, really, for me is that, yeah, and actually the chat very kindly pointed it out, they were just homeless. Just two homeless dudes. Two Nigerian princes, possibly, yes.
And what was really fucked up, by the way, I'm looking up the weather, because I remember there was something crazy. Because we were in that, like, terrible, like negative whatever temperature. We were in that cold snap going through the country at the time.
Yeah.
So it was between -20 and -29 degrees.
Yeah, why are you outside?
In Chicago that night?
Why are you outside at that in that temperature?
I don't know. They would literally warn people. I remember seeing this on like the
Wasn't
Polar
the
vortex.
weren't most of the bodies of water around Chicago also frozen over? I saw the pictures.
Yeah, around Christmas time they already were. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is not. This is
Oh,
not.
it's dangerous
It,
weather.
I'm the dickhead that would say, "Oh, that sounds crisp," but I know also that's not. Yeah, no. If you see a homeless guy in Bermudas, offer him some thermals, please.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for you guys, that would be for what -29 is in Fahrenheit is -33 in Celsius.
Yeah, it's chill. Unfortunately, we don't get it that cold over here. I wish we did.
We don't either. That's unheard of that we had that.
This is I blame the gays for this. It's
Oh,
God
yeah, of
hating.
course.
It's why we have flooding in the UK because God hates the homos.
Tennessee is underwater right now.
Oh, that would explain a lot. I've got a few people I know in Tennessee that aren't replying to messages.
Ah, well, hopefully everything's all right with them.
I'll ask them when.
But yes, so it was fucking freezing, literally.
Yeah.
So the fact that even these two guys were out and about is crazy. This is already at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah. Oh god, there was where is it? There was something funny he said. Oh yes. At a concert, Jussie Smollett made some comments at it. Where I've written down. I'm the gay Tupac. Yep.
That's heresy.
I don't know much about Tupac personally. It's not. I don't delve into that genre.
Tupac was there was this whole
I thought he was still alive.
War, this like rap war that happened, and the TLDR is Tupac ended up getting shot.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, so Tupac is basically a R&B / rap idol in that sense.
I don't know if I've listened to any of his songs, but I'm sure I have. But it's rap to me. I'm not,
Right. I know you're not really into rap, so I won't even go into it. But
I like some, but not. And
but
no,
anyway,
I don't mean Linkin Park. Mike Shinoda should never rap. Carry on.
Oh my, yeah, no, that was awful. That's a Reanimation album.
Oh dear God.
Anyway, but yeah, so what ended up happening then? So we're on like January 31st to February 1st, whatever. He makes his first statement on February 1st, and that was when he made the Village comment. And what's interesting is that he addressed doubts and inconsistencies about the story and the small amount of surveillance footage. And he said on the 1st, I am working with authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent on every level, he says. Yeah, despite my frustrations and deep concern with certain inaccuracies and misrepresentations that have been spread, I still believe that justice will be served.
Interesting you say that because I've got another quote here. And this is when he was at that concert. He said, "I'm sure my lawyers are sitting up there. They're like, no, Jussie, no. Above all, I fought. Pause for effect. Back." And then he said, "I'm the gay Tupac."
Right.
That is so bad. That is. I don't know enough about Tupac, but I think if you're going to compare yourself to someone who's dead, who's basically considered a rap god, I guess, because of their influence on the industry. That's not the wisest move, especially if, let's say, 9 days later, you finally give the police your phone records that are so heavily redacted, to the point where the police will then, they will say, because they don't suspect him at the time, that they are not even looking at charges regarding filing a false report. Oh, is Biggie Smalls? Is he a rap god? I don't know who that is.
I mean, he's also relevant to that situation.
I've heard the name, but I don't know shit about the mirror thing. Look at the mirror, say Biggie Smalls a few times. There's a bit of a gap in like, I'd say 9 days from when he spoke out to when he finally gave in his phone records. And I wonder why it took so long, because obviously that long allows this whole thing to brew. It brews and it festers, and people start to get very, very cross.
I think for a lot of points, like, to be fair, if they had to go through all of the footage for that time frame, especially from what I understand, that area of Chicago is like very rich and like kind of uppity.
Mm-hmm.
With
the area he was attacked in, or the area he lives in?
Yes, the area he was attacked in.
Right.
So there was probably plenty of cams that didn't show anything because who the fuck was outside? But they had to go through several hundred hours worth of footage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were, in those couple days, in those week plus a couple, chasing down any potential leads or at least tying up loose ends in the process, and then said, "All right, cool. Well, we've narrowed it down to at least, Jesse and these two homeless guys, but those homeless guys don't seem to, match anything." So, Jesse, you said you were on the phone. Could we see your records?
That's actually a point that Prospero in the chat brings up, that the police had to get a subpoena because the manager and Justin didn't hand him over. We did mention that early on, actually. I find it, while they're not a suspect, I do take the stance that the police need to corroborate the MAGA reference to know if it was racially or a homophobic related incident. I get it is. It's just being thorough, I guess.
Yeah, well, especially in Chicago. I mean,
they have a pretty high crime rate, don't they?
A little bit. It's not Detroit, but
Detroit.
I mean, Chicago, Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, no, I was about
Chicago,
to say it's according to Wild Bill of America, it should be boxed off, allowed only, and have all the Muslims in and the sympathizers, and be called jihadi land.
Interesting. I'm not aware.
Wild Bill for America said that. I like the video.
No, I mean, Chicago has like some fucking crime. I mean, it's a major city, but I wouldn't say it's like overrun or anything like that.
Okay.
But it's primarily black, is why I'm saying that.
Well, yes, of course it is. Okay, so 3 days after the police records were submitted, the persons of interest were arrested by the police. 2 people. They are Obabinjo and Abimbola Osundero, brothers, Nigerian princes. That's what they are.
Which is weird because they were also born like in America.
The fun fact with them is that they worked as extras on the TV show that has made Justin Smollett famous, i.e. Empire. A very good show, I know this. I've watched a few seasons of it, I think I have. Isn't it got the guy who's in The Wire?
Oh, dude, I actually have no idea. I haven't watched like legitimate TV in years.
No, I torrent shit because I can't be asked for this shit. Empire TV series. I think Taraji P. Henson. No, it's Terrence Howard. No, different show. I was thinking of something else. I think of Boardwalk something. Doesn't matter. Yes, I've seen a season of Empire though. It's a good show. Anyway, yes. So the 2 people of interest arrested. And that's during a raid on their property, there was found, and this was the a rather interesting one, a blackface mask, and I mean blackface, one word, not black face mask, which I think is quite funny, I guess.
Where, or what?
During a police raid at the home of the 2 Nigerian princes, they found scripts from Empire, phones, receipts, a red hat, bleach, and a black face mask.
Okay.
I mean blackface.
Fair enough.
Blackface. 2 Nigerians with blackface.
Yeah, I don't realize why that would be necessary.
Yeah, I don't get it either. On that same day, Justin Smollett was on Good Morning America, and he suggested the alleged attackers were white. The quote is, "If I had said the attackers was a Muslim or a Mexican or someone black, I feel like the doubters would have supported me a lot much more." With the police also on the same day saying that they had no evidence to support the reports that the attack was staged, because there was some suspicion because of the connection to him.
I think we're going to come back to this Good Morning America interview, because it's so oof, it's a lot. Some people have already said that he deserves an Emmy just for his performance.
Yeah, there is a interview. It's about 17 minutes long on ABC News, and I've just pulled it up. It's really long though, so we're not going to cover it. And I love the ratio. It's got 1.4 million views, 8.4 thousand thumbs up, and 17,000 thumbs down. Let's see what the top comment is. Oh, the top comment: making things worse for real victims. And the second comment: damn, he got into character. Is this called method acting?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He was questioned in the interview about his refusal to hand over the phone, and he says, "I have private pictures and videos and numbers, my private emails, my private songs, my private voice memos." Yeah, but they're not after all of that, are they?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
After one conversation to prove the MAGA reference, they need to know that that played a part.
Well, at least they need to corroborate that he was indeed on the, on the phone.
Yeah.
Because if you could have a corroborating witness that says yes, this did happen, then
yeah,
we can go and search for that.
Yeah. Okay. So about 6 days ago from now, the investigation, which was about 3 days after that, ABC and Good Morning America interviews, Anthony Guglielmi, I'm just butchering that name, the chief operating officer, whatever his name is, chief executive, the police officer, fucker. He put out a tweet that says, "While we are not in a position to confirm, deny, or comment on the validity of what's been unofficially released, there are some developments in this investigation and detectives have some follow-ups to complete, which include speaking to the individual who reported the incident." Which tells me the direction of the investigation has now shifted. They've had the suspects in custody, so yeah, they've had time to grill them, and I'm sure that their view has changed. They said they wanted to speak to Smollett, and in a statement released by the lawyer, they said, the lawyer said, "Oh, what's going on in the background?"
I think that's somebody else talking. Sorry.
That's okay. This lawyer put out a statement saying Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals he is familiar with. It is impossible to believe that the Osenderos could have played a role in the crime against Jussie, or would falsely claim Jussie's complicity.
Are we just going with Jussie now?
I'm going with Jussie, yes.
Oh, also, just to fact check on Prospero, I did a quick look, and violent crimes isn't even in the top 30 in Chicago.
Really? Because that's what I hear about over this side. That's like the one thing we hear about the major cities, and Chicago's always the one that sort of seems like who always.
I just checked the 2016 census records for it, and
oh really? It's not as high as I thought then. Okay. 3 days ago, on the 20th of February, Jussie Smollett is finally charged by the police, with the same police officer putting out a tweet that Jussie Smollett is now officially classified as a suspect in a criminal investigation by the #Chicago Police for filing a false report, which is a Class 4 felony. I don't know what that means. Detectives are currently presenting evidence before a Cook County grand jury. Class 4 felony, what is that?
A Class 4 felony is just basically a different form of
sounds like a lower tier.
Severity, essentially.
Lesser tier, it sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it follows the same way as you guys have it there.
Yeah, but they also charged him with disorderly conduct, I think.
I believe the disorderly conduct in Class 4 is basically the lowest form of it's basically when you file a false hate crime that causes police to then have to waste resources looking into your shit, and you turn out to be, full of it.
Oh, he was full of it. Where's that video I just had? I had a video. Oh, where has it gone? It's fine. I will do this. I have a video. Now, the video is a claim that... I'm not going to put the audio on, I'm just going to play in the background. Of the Osenderos buying supplies. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't need to have audio because it's just them buying supplies for the attack. You can clearly see the face masks, the ski masks, the red hat. You can see what they were buying. They are... Well, at least that proves they bought the shit.
Well, of course, they were paid.
They were paid handsomely by Jussie Smollett. I thought I'd show that because it seemed interesting. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay. There is something I forgot to show, and it's funny. Okay, yeah, let's do this. This is it's a thing put out by 50 Cent. Gay 2-pack. I think this is quite... It says underneath, all lies on me. I think that's brilliant. Thought I'd just show it for a second because it amused me. Where is it? Oh yeah. After he was arrested, where is it? The police also they're very good on keeping the public up to date via Twitter. I have to admit. They then obviously done the obvious of covering their ass by saying not confirming, denying, or commenting on the validity of things that have been unofficially released, including that video I showed. Smollett's lawyers say they will conduct a thorough investigation and mount an aggressive defense. You know what? I hope that lawyer's paid well. From the...
He's going to need to be.
Well, yes, that retainer is going to be rather fat, especially if you know, if your job's secure, which it isn't. But we'll get to that. So the Instagram thing I put out a moment ago was 50 Cent, who had previously come out in support of Jussie, and what he'd done. He'd taken Jussie's face, put it over 2-packs, and changed the title, the album name, to All Lies on Me, to basically mock Jussie for being an absolute moron. The arrest was made official 2 days ago, and there was a... Oh, actually there's a video for it. I can pull it up. It's a minute long. I will turn it up. And this is a statement by, I believe, the Chicago police.
The accusations within this phony attack received national attention for weeks. Celebrities, news commentators, and even presidential candidates weighed in on something that was choreographed by an actor. First, Smollett attempted to gain attention by sending a false letter that relied on racial, homophobic, and political language. When that didn't work, Smollett paid $3,500 to stage this attack and drag Chicago's reputation through the mud in the process. And why? This stunt was orchestrated by Smollett because he was dissatisfied with his salary. So he concocted a story about being attacked. Now, our city has problems. We know that. We have problems that have affected people from all walks of life, and we know that. But to put the national spotlight on Chicago for something that is both egregious and untrue is simply shameful.
Yeah. No, that was Johnson, actually, who's superintendent, which was written on his badge, actually. Interesting points that were made there about Jussie. And I want to make the obvious remark. He was dissatisfied with his salary. That's quite the confession. Tell me, how strong is your negotiating position now that you've dragged an entire city into the mud? Reputation ruined because now racially motivated hate attacks have been claimed, and we'll certainly talk about that element soon enough because there are some rather interesting arguments that have taken place. Do you think, and I'll ask you this, Trups, he stands a chance of even getting so much as an incremental pay rise?
Absolutely not. In fact, he's been written off the last two episodes of the current Empire's airing season.
And
He's not,
suspended, I
his
believe.
character's not even present anymore.
He's been suspended as well, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
This is because they have to save face. They put themselves out there to support him because they blindly listened and believed. This mentality is something I hate. I agree that, you know, you want to stand up for people you care about, but you also at the same time have to accept that they can lie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have
And they do. This is the biggest problem with the idea of listen and believe survivors. A lot of times the argument is they have no reason to lie, which couldn't be further from the truth, knowing full well that everybody has a reason to lie, even if it's stupid, if it's small. You have a reason. It may not be a good reason.
It doesn't have to be a good reason for some people. It just has to be an excuse, a way of getting out of something. I think with how this has happened and what people have done, you know, it's quite tricky because the black community, they rose up and defended somebody who at the same time, during what I believe is called Black History Month,
yes, ironically,
absolutely besmirched it, because now he's a part of it, and for all the wrong reasons. He shines a very big bad light on it, which others have tried to very, very unwisely find a way to either fob off or use as a way to raise the argument of claim of supposed racism, but because of the foundation being made of, well, paper, it's quite flimsy, and I don't think it stacks up to any level of scrutiny. You can't argue about tackling racism with a guy who faked a racist attack and go in so far to get attention as to pay $3,500 to get people to attack him to make it look like white people had it out for him. That alienates.
What's worse is that they were his friends too.
It does. It is. That's actually terrible. It alienates an audience. It brings shame on the show, which damages the show's reputation and longevity. In fact, it puts jobs in jeopardy. Because are you going to renew a show that less people are going to watch? No. And let's not forget here, as the seasons go by for any show, the law of diminishing returns comes into effect. It doesn't matter what race you are, it affects every show. Except The Big Bang Theory.
And Friends.
And NCIS.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that still on telly?
I used to like it.
You know what? You know what? Yep.
And Law and Order.
I did. Oh God! I did see a tweet by Trump. I'll pull it up. Here we go. At Jussie Smollett. What about MAGA and the tens of millions of people you insulted with your racist and dangerous comments? It couldn't be more correct.
And that's a damn comment. That's like, okay, first of all, you added him, calling him from the fucking box, calling him out. And
oh God,
of course,
the tweet underneath it as well is funny. But carry on.
But like, a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's not racism." Yeah, it is. Even by the definition that they
the structures of power argument.
Yes, power plus privilege, right?
It is that.
Okay. Technically, he's an actor. He's a famous actor, of which now everyone knows his name.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power. Yeah. Who's to say that any regular Joe Schmo is going to, you know, he's not going to have the same kind of audience. He's not going to get a Good Morning America interview.
What if he does now? It will be to apologize for what he's done, because there's no people are willingly going to want to have him on the show. He will be blackballed. By the way, I do
without a doubt, and he should be.
I'm going to put that. Just show the tweet here underneath. One of your superfans literally sent pipe bombs to members of the media and your political opponents, and you said zip. But this you feel the need to comment on, without the question mark. And it was a false flag. That was bogus. They were not pipe bombs. Yeah. They weren't sent by a MAGA. They were sent by a retard.
And also, I don't think any of those pipe bombs were actually like rigged to go.
No, they were. I remember talking about this with you. They were not pipe
Yeah,
bombs.
we talked about it like a long time ago, and we were looking at it like it was a fucking toy that you could buy at, Poundland or Dollar General.
Yes, Poundland.
I was like, basically looks like you took a fucking like a medicine bottle and you just kind of capped it on both ends.
Yeah. So Fox Entertainment and 20th Century Fox, because they have to buy 21st off someone who bought it before them, twats. The makers of
Smart.
Empire, issued a statement regarding the future of Jussie, where they said, "We understand the seriousness of this matter and we respect the legal process. We are evaluating the situation and we are considering our options." We know where this ends up, but we're gonna keep going. When the president was first asked about this, you earlier mentioned he spoke out against it. He was directly quoted as saying, "I think that's horrible. It doesn't get worse as far as I'm concerned." Based on limited information, he supported Jussie, and then finding out Jussie lied, he did the one, and I'd say most unpresidential thing. He openly called out racism. In this way,
Yeah,
that is,
without a doubt. And mostly because he backed you.
Mm-hmm.
He was in your corner, and you turned out to be a fucking liar.
I think it's funnier considering Trump's still getting shit for wanting to legalize, was it gay marriage or something?
Oh, I mean, his administration's criticized for the whole transgender army thing.
No,
but...
no, the gay thing that was in the news recently, and someone said it's still...
the UN resolution that every country must not inflict the death penalty on gay people.
Yeah, so that's racist. Did you know that? And homophobic.
Oh, apparently. Marginalized communities suffer the most from global warming.
I remember seeing the articles on that. Yes, because they're fabulous. I remember seeing the articles on that. And it was quite funny. There were a number of articles that made me chuckle, but there was in court, the judge John Fitz said that the most vile part of the incident, this whole pantomime. Yes, out. Thank you, Prospero. You're worthy of your wrench. You can have it back. There you go. Thanks, babe. He called the noose the most vile part, and I get that because of the historical implication.
It was a clothesline.
Yeah, but obviously the implied noose. I think historical connotations at this time of the year, especially, that is over dramatizing something that I could not envision happening in your country in this current year. And that's not an argument, but you know what I mean.
You know what's interesting about it though is some have linked Jussie Smollett to Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, but I don't know if you have that slated for later.
Cory was asked about this, wasn't he?
Yes, because originally he was fully backing Jussie Smollett. In fact, he said this is exactly why we need to push this federal anti-lynching law because state laws.
Yeah, but when Jussie was arrested, Cory then he went quiet. He was asked about it and he went quiet.
Yeah,
I think it's not surprising. He support again. I don't hold it against him for wanting to support someone because that's what you do. And he was put in a and so at the same time, I don't want to throw too much shade on that, but I think when someone within your community does something that they shouldn't do, you should outright call it out. It shouldn't be down to people of other communities to be like, you do realize you're not helping your own community by demonizing the majority to elevate yourselves by lying. That's not tackling racism here. That's just
also I want to call out and really stress the point that Valkyrie made. Who wouldn't support that? The only people who should get the death penalty outside of murderers are child sex offenders. Yeah, I'm all on board with that.
I will not
I think we
be
should bring
drawn
back the
in.
electric chair just for that.
I
But
will
hey,
not.
that's just me.
I will not be brought into that discussion, although I do think I'm sure some people will get kinks from having an electric chair introduced and maybe having it attached to their penis.
Cool. Then it's not a cruel and unusual punishment.
I'm not. I know little, very, very little about the death penalty, so I won't be doing that.
That's all right.
But I do know. I do. Oh, I should tell you this now, actually. Before I even started the stream, guess what?
What?
We were demonetized.
Of course we were.
Yeah, only this one though, and obviously previous ones that we do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So then we come up to yesterday, which is when obviously the last piece of this story so far. Oh no, there's one bit before. He posted 10% of a $100,000 bond in Chicago. So yeah, he's up shit creek. An expensive one. One whole episode's worth, in fact.
Damn, really?
Well, the $100,000 bond. Yeah.
I wish I could make fucking $100,000 in one episode.
I think was he on 65 grand an episode?
Still, that's my fucking yearly salary,
yeah,
man.
I mean, after tax expenses, I'm sure it's a lot less, but still. So we come up to yesterday, and the TV show producers released a statement saying the actor won't be in the final 2 episodes of the latest series, which are the 2 you wrote, you mentioned earlier. With them adding the allegations against him are disturbing. They are a sorry state and a damning statement about Trump derangement syndrome. I don't care if people want to say it's something else, but the motivation behind this, it implies that whole argument that MAGA is racist. That's what it is. It's racist, homophobic, and therefore we must use that. And to do so, we're going to use the single most extreme measure by implying a hanging, a lynching, and that's just
and a chemical attack.
Oh yeah, the bleach, right? Because and by the way, I use bleach a lot for work. Yeah, generally you don't want that on your skin at all. I'm just gonna say if that's on him, if that wasn't on him for any period of time, that would cause a burn at some point. It's not the best stuff to have on your skin. Also, if you get bleach on your hands or on your skin, it's very hard to wash out of the smell because that chlorine scent is quite common. So
warning: if you get bleach on your hands or clothes, please wash them thoroughly and do not touch your hands or put your fingers in your mouth.
Unless you're really, really edgy.
Or want to die.
That too.
Or go blind.
Although, if you're really clever, you'll run your fingers that has bleach on through your hair to make it go fast stripe.
Oh, clever.
That'll work.
Yeah, the last thing I want is my hair to be bleach, or at least frosted tips, a la the late '90s boy bands.
Frosted tips. Oh god, everyone I knew had that shit, and I was never into it.
I was too young to handle my own hair back then, so.
I wasn't too young then.
But
he said it was bleach to underline the racism. Right. If he wanted to do that, if he really wanted to up the ante, he could have gotten some of that ointment they use for people who want to bleach their skin. People with vitiligo, they have two skin tones, so you erase one, you basically do Michael Jackson. You just go all white.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's not that dark in the first place, so,
And honestly, after he did it once, he still looked good, and then once he did the nose surgeries, it just looked really, really bad.
Yeah, a girl 2 doors down from me just had nose surgery, and her nose looks just like his at the moment. It's hilarious.
Oh dear,
it's so funny.
It's
so funny. She's like same age as you, and she looks like a tramp.
Oh no, I hate my generation sometimes.
Your generation is an embarrassment.
I know.
With what happened before he was suspended, there were a number of articles that supported him. They they were calling out racism, but then when he was arrested, there were articles almost begging that for racism because they wanted that, they needed that, and that pisses me off because it's I don't know. There's something really wrong about wanting racism.
ironically, I think Tim Pool actually had even commented on this right before it came out that he was totally fucked and he was going to get arrested. There was a couple articles that came out where somebody literally said, "I don't want this to be true, but I need this to be true."
Yeah, yeah, that I heard about that.
And that it was yeah, exact. Okay, we are here. We saw the same fucking tweet because I know you got that from a tweet on off Twitter. I got that shit.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And that was the saddest thing. A lot of these I'm gonna call them progressive liberals. They need to create this environment, this holy hellfire that is the 4 years that encompasses Trump presidency.
Mm.
And this was a thought that I had at the very beginning of 2016. After he got elected, I said to myself and my friends, because we were all living in the same apartment at the time in college, I said, I'm terrified now. Under Obama, we saw the beginnings of Black Lives Matter for Michael Brown case and things of that matter. We watched, while we were all sitting in our living room, we were watching the TV, just watching fucking, I think it was Baltimore, burn. Like when they set all the fires to the thing and went rioting for like 3 days.
Yeah.
It was fucking awful. And we were staring and watching. And I said to my friends, I was like, I'm terrified now that Trump is elected. And they asked me why. And I said, because these folks are going to make the next 4 years the most divisive, angry, and dangerous time that we have ever lived through. Because they hate him so much, they want his legacy to burn.
Yeah. That's kind of sad, to be honest.
And I think it's true. I mean, we've looked at it for almost, we just entered 2019, so 2 years of his presidency. And just look how we have continued. It's been 2 years, and progressivism has only, strengthened in this country. It's odd that there are so many parallels in Western society, in the UK,
yeah,
or France, or things of that nature. But
earlier in the
why?
week, I saw a video on Twitter. I think it was Now TV talking about this, and obviously since he had been arrested, I retweeted it with laughter and a comment that this had aged like a box wine, because everyone was supporting him. There was just so much blind support. I thought that what I find fascinating is nobody, especially, well, I didn't see any of the same people who'd supported him then put out a statement saying, yo, this nigga, he's not one of us anymore. He's a bit too white, you can have him back. There was no condemning of him from the very people that supported him. They always go very quiet, people do in their communities do stupid shit. I find that to be
because if they say anything, then they're just, I'm going to use the phrase, they're asking for it from the people who don't like them. Because damn well that they're going to come out in droves to say, oh, really? It's kind of like the whole thing with the journalism thing, right? So, they came out and saying Learn to Code was wrong. And I was like, hey, asshole, that was you, right? Like, everyone pointed that out. They're like, this was your article? Your people posted this, and we're just throwing it back at you. No, it's harassment. Oh, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just shit don't age well when you deal in sensationalism and hypocrisy is your MO.
This is why the fallout from all of this is quite interesting to me, because you've got some instead looking for an excuse to create racism or argue with this as a base. You've got others who do condemn it, and then you've got others who have gone silent on it. It's weird. I think if someone lies and their motivation is money, I think that's just really silly. And I do want to quickly check something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. to kind of expand on that, we live in this time where lying is your money. You know, that is how you make your money. Think of all the recent, I mean, almost every story starts on Twitter now. Can we just all just fuck off of Twitter?
I'm with you on that. I don't really care for it.
Like, especially politicians. Every politician needs to fuck off of Twitter.
I have found, and to cement the belief of Trump derangement syndrome, a number of tweets by Jussie. I think someone should kick Donald Trump's ass. That's one of them. I'm convinced Donald Trump is either as arrogant as he seems, or a brilliant Democrat single-handedly trying to take down the GOP. Hashtag y'all being hustled. I find it hard to believe that Trump's purchased intellect would really have him believe this is a good choice for the American people or world. If people of all races, religions, cultures and sexualities would join together, make love be the business, then no mogul of hate like Trump can lead. Keep saying Trump won't win, but unless we get up and get our asses out to vote, there will be a catastrophic, unexplainable... this will be a catastrophe unexplainable to our children. The Trump way of campaigning: take a big pile of bullshit lies, sprinkle a drop of truth on top and call it a fact. There are more, and the list goes on and on and on.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
And so many of them are aimed at Trump. It's just... What I was looking for was any indication who he voted for in 2016. Because I told you the other day, last night, I would laugh if a guy who was begging for more money voted for Sanders.
Oh, that's right. That was last night, yeah.
But I have not found...
You know what's funny? Sanders just bought a third house.
Did he? Well, he makes a lot of money as a senator.
Yes, banter bus. I do love you.
Right.
He asked nicely.
Okay.
But yeah, so I found that very interesting. Somebody said that he was ideologically impure because of that, saying, you know, democratic socialism, but also reaping the benefits of a very capitalistic society in which he is able to then buy 3 houses.
Yeah. I don't know. Right. No, I'm not.
But you know, to kind of hammer home this this idea of the fallout being so wrong, was this opinion column from the Chicago Tribune where the title is "Sorry Bigots, but I'm not sorry for once trusting Jussie Smollett." It starts off by the way, it's written by Deline Glanton, and the first comment is completely irrelevant to the rest of the story. It now appears that Jussie Smollett may have made up a story about his attack. If true, it is disgraceful and, in my opinion, inexcusable. And then the rest of the article is all about how that doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Like, oh, it totally does matter. Because the next paragraph says, but let's be clear. Just because one person lied about a racist and homophobic incident does not let all bigots off the hook. This is not a reprieve for anyone who has set a bomb off in a mosque or sprayed a synagogue with deadly gunfire. No one fucking said that.
Yeah, you're clutching at straws. Back to the foundation argument again. It doesn't have any credibility. Just can't do this shit. It's so stupid.
Apparently, Meg, question for both of us: do we believe a race war will start soon? No, I don't. I don't think it'll be a race war.
No.
I think it'll be. I want to say it'll be a class war, kind of like how you see the French Yellow Vest protest, where a lot of working class are not happy because they're being basically screwed. I feel as if it's going to be an ideological war, and I'm worried that it will actually happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
unfortunately, if anything, the overall feeling of the country is, societal pendulum, if you will. Um, we have swung to the point where it is not swinging back and forth anymore. It's now spinning. And so it's oscillating on a point where it'll never get to the same point ever again. It's still crossing back and forth, sure. But what we have now is we have a media that is actively against the majority of people, and that the majority of people being people who believe in freedom of speech, people who believe in arguments and having a political discourse that doesn't have to end in punching somebody else in the face. The idea that you can totally wear a supportive, a supportive political shirt, like if you wore a Obama Hope shirt or a MAGA hat, that wouldn't be a reason to punch somebody in the face. But
Agreed.
in the world we live in, that is the MAGA hat, at least.
Fucking MAGA. So much racism. I have been trying to, while you've been talking, look for any evidence of who Jussie voted for. But his Instagram, which I thought might give me the best indication, because a lot of actors use it to put their political beliefs up. Jussie's is a bit empty. I'm in December and it's just of 2016 and there's not much there. No, nothing. Apparently it's only his Twitter where he gets really sassy. What a shame. I was hoping for something that might help me.
Living the dream, Americans don't have class. I have been told that before, usually by Brits.
Yeah.
We have class.
We
We
do.
just don't care to wear it on our sleeves.
We do like to dump on you guys, to be fair.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
But, meh.
I will accept that. Yeah, a lot of blacks were disgusted with the whole Jussie Smollett thing. I don't think they would be quick to start a race war if pushed by the media. That's funny because right now there's a very interesting thing happening with many in the black community. And I have to say the black community because we're going to argue for the sake of everything that it is an ideological group. But there are those who are straying from that group, who are understanding that the DNC is not deserving of your vote all the time because they clearly don't have your best interest at heart all the time.
Right.
And there are certain people like Kanye West, for instance, because that was a major news story, telling people that the DNC is not what you have to vote for. You don't have to vote Republican all the time.
Yeah.
And that is actually very against the rest of the black community, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that. It's just silly.
But no, but this article that came from the Chicago Tribune,
Yeah.
it's just a whole bunch of BS. Here's an interesting, poignant line. They, meaning the people who doubted Jussie Smollett, they insist that only race baiters would believe such a horrible thing could actually happen in America. They can't see how anyone could possibly consider an African-American man to be a victim, let alone a gay one.
Mm-hmm.
No. They are the real victims here. These angry Trump supporters contend. They, though they helped put a so-called bigot-in-chief in office, they insist that they are being unfairly blamed for forcing America down this treacherous and agonizing road of intolerance.
Wow.
The irony is that she is exhibiting the exact thing that she says that we do. And I say we, but I'm not even conservative. Well, I'm conservative. I'm not Republican, though.
I don't know what to say to that, to be honest.
It's a fucking weird thing that we got going on in this country right now.
Your country is precious.
I think so too.
Is there
We're
anything
also a much...
we need to add to this story?
No, I think for the most part we got that Jussie Smollett fucked over big time, and
Yeah, he's
they I'm gonna say that we're not gonna hear the end of this yet.
yeah, but I wouldn't think this ended well or will end well for him. I think he's screwed. Yeah. Is there anything you want to
Big
shill
time.
before we finish?
Well, those who are listening, those who are here, if you guys aren't subscribed to my channel already, I try to put out content 2 to 3 times a week. I've been sick for the past couple of weeks, but I'm feeling better, so I should be able to get back to that schedule. So if you guys want to come over and share the love, I'd love to have you.
Channel link in the description. I was going to work on final piece for the for a second of 3 segments on Chantal Marie, but I'm not. I'm going to sleep soon, so instead I'll go to bed. There'll be regular content on Monday though. Otherwise, just go sub to Trups. Do it all now. Okay, yes. So say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night.